Hello, Rachel. How's it been going since our last session?
Well, my daughter still has not come home. I still have the 5 children to take care of, my grandchildren. And, I have talked to her, but she just said that she wasn't ready to come home. And so, not a lot's changed.
Did she tell you why she's not ready?
No, but I've been thinking about this a good bit, and I think that when I was raising my 3 children, I asked her to leave when she was 16, and I think maybe that's why she's doing this to me, to get back at me for what I did when she was a child.
And what was that like?
I really feel guilty about doing that, about telling her to leave at 16. I think it led to some serious problems that she's having now. Yeah, I feel pretty guilty about it.
What other emotions are you feeling?
Still kind of overwhelmed with taking care of the 5 children. But I'm trying to do a better job with them than I did with my own children because I feel so guilty about the little time that I spent with them.
You seem a little bit more sad since our last visit. Have you been able to recognize these different emotions that come on?
Well, I guess I'm kind of up and down. I'm trying to be upbeat when the children are around, the grandchildren. But then when I'm by myself, I think about when my daughter was little and their age and what I didn't do, what I should have done. So I can see myself going up and down every day. But sometimes I just have to kind of put on that things are going to get better for the grandchildren, but then for myself, since I talked to my daughter and she's not ready to come back, then I'm feeling like I don't know what else to do to make her understand.
Have you guys been able to discuss the children and how they're doing?
Yes, I tell them how much they miss her. They miss their mom. And I think that if she came back, we could all maybe talk about it. The children would be included in her coming back, and I know she must miss the children. I know the children miss her, and I told her this.
Has she told you where she's located? Is it easily accessible for you guys to have a family meeting together?
Well, she is staying with her sister in Michigan. And of course the children are here in Tennessee. But with Thanksgiving, close, maybe, she and her sister would come down and maybe we could have a family meeting while the kids are out of school for Thanksgiving. I don't know, we haven't really talked about it. But
I want to kind of go over why you feel the way that you do. So what I'm getting from you is your situation and the environment that you're in right now with your 5 grandchildren. You're feeling guilt because of what you feel like you did as to your daughter with her childhood. And the thought of having the guilt leads to the emotion of being sad. Do you feel like we can come up with a new emotion? Do you feel that she really is throwing these kids on you because of how she was raised? Have you been able to discuss that with her?
Well, I guess in a roundabout way, I have said, that I told her that I love her and that I wish that she would come back, and that now, I kind of understand where she's coming from, because she is overwhelmed with having to take care of 5 children, and I felt overwhelmed with having to take care of my 3 children, and so she knows that I'm sorry for what I did. I've apologized.
So it seems to me that with her dropping off her grandchildren to you, then you weren't a bad mother in her eyes. That you are able to take care of children since they are dropped off with you. And with you being overwhelmed and her overwhelmed, it seems to me that that was kind of the reasoning for her dropping the kids off. And I kind of want to encourage you to have this discussion with her just to see where each other is coming from, because your thought is coming from her childhood, which leads to your sad emotion. And you're thinking maybe that's why she dropped them off. But in her eyes, she may have a different response. And once you guys talk about it, then your emotion will change because you will have a different thought about this whole situation.
You know, I have not thought about that. Yes, that is possible. The fact that I was a good mother, better than I thought I was. Maybe I'm not as bad as I keep thinking that I was. And we do need to sit down and just talk to each other more openly than what we have on the phone.
So I want to also encourage for you to take on this new belief that maybe she just needs help and it has nothing to do with her childhood. And monitor that this week before our next session and kind of see if you can talk with her about this and let me know if your emotion and your mood changes because you're adapting a new belief from the whole situation of having these 5 children. Is that something you feel like you can kind of monitor this week of how you feel once you discuss this with her?
I'm not sure how to bring the subject up. I mean, what do I say to her? How do I ask her, about, did she leave the children with me because she thought that I could help in some way? I mean, how do I ask her?
You can just simply say that you've been feeling a lot of guilt because of her childhood, and you've been feeling kind of overwhelmed with the emotion of being sad, and you kind of want to discuss with her if there's anything that you can do to help her, since she stated to you that she is overwhelmed with not keeping the children, but maybe working a system to where that you both can have respite with one another with these children, so that she can come home and see her kids, but also just acknowledging your feelings and telling her this is how that you feel, and you just want to have a calm conversation about why you believe she did this. Now, do you feel that she would get angry with you with having this conversation?
No, I think she's probably had some time to think about it, and because when I've talked to her on the phone, we've been able to be very civil to each other. She's listened and I've listened, and so I guess as long as she knows that I'm not going to just leave as soon as she comes back.
And just stating that to her, and for her to also explain her feelings to you and you being able to listen and having that reflective listening, also going back and forth and explaining, this is what I hear you saying, so that you guys can be on the same page with this, because both of you are overwhelmed right now about the situation. So what do you feel that, give me 2 things that you know that you can do and 2 things that you cannot do in this situation?
Well, I know I've got to be a better listener. You know, when she starts talking to me, I need to stay calm, and I need to really try to understand what she's telling me. And I need to let her know that I'm going to be supportive of her. I won't just leave as soon as she comes back. One thing I know I cannot do is get angry, because if I start getting angry at her, then I just think she's going to revert back to the old thing of, she'll accuse me of, well, when you were my age, this is what you did, and kind of thing. So I've got to be sure to keep calm and not get angry. And I've got to be a good listener to her. Try to understand what, where she's coming from, because we live in a different day and time. There's so many things around us influencing our thoughts, and so just remain calm and not be angry.
So it seems that you want this positive relationship with her, and she's reached out to you and explained where she is, so she's opening that door back up for you guys to have this relationship with one another. So I'm sure that makes you feel good about the future with the grandchildren and having her back in the Tennessee area.
Yes, yes. I really want her to come back and be a part of the children's life and mother them, because they're at this point, they're pretty confused too about why their mom left them. So.
Let's try to come up with some goals that we can work on for future sessions. Kind of one goal that we completed today was going over what you can and cannot do. And so that when you were able to approach her, you have already role-played kind of with me what needs to happen. So you're aware of your emotions and your feelings, so that when you guys do have contact with one another, you approach her in an appropriate way. So what are some other goals that you would like to accomplish?
Well, I think I would like a stronger mother-daughter relationship. I think that if I can let her see that I really want to have a relationship where she and I can talk on the same level, that I'm not like talking down to her and telling her all the time what to do. Is that a good goal?
Yes. This treatment is all about you, so whatever goals that you feel that you would want to accomplish, that's what I'm here to help you with and encourage you along the way.
And then, I guess, I want to have a good relationship with my grandchildren. I want them to see me as someone that is there for them, but then I want them to recognize that my daughter is their mother, and I guess I want to see a good relationship with my grandchildren on a level of, I'm the grandmother, and my daughter is their mother, and that I'll always be there for them. But I want them to, feel good that there is a mother and a grandmother in there, there for them, but in different ways.
So making sure that everyone knows the boundaries with the role that they play within the children's lives.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, it seems like we've come up with some really good goals. This week I just encourage you to have the discussion with her if she's willing. You kind of know your daughter and what she is able to discuss and how you are to approach her. And I would love to hear back from you during the next session about how that goes, so that we can continue the mother-daughter relationship on a good, positive manner that you would like. Okay?
That sounds like a good plan for me to work on.
Okay. Well, that ends the session for today, and I look forward to meeting you sometime next week.